Good afternoon and happy Sunday to everyone. Today, we are doing something unique at A Better Chance for Youth on Let's Talk About It. We are actually talking about our programs. I am so excited to have our guests today that are heading up the programs for the organization, and they are also um, educated. So we have Dr. Sullivan, we have Dr. Cross, we have Miss Shaw, and we have Miss Bright. So as they come on, they will introduce themselves. And after they introduce themselves, and I'll give a little brief history for those who don't know exactly about A Better Chance for You. And once we go through that, then they will share with you their programs. So as they come on, they're going to introduce themselves and tell you what their part is in A Better Chance for You, but not sharing their programs just yet. Okay. So Dr. Cross will start by just telling us her name and what she is doing, and then we'll go back around for an in-depth of the programs in the order that we discussed.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Cross. I am the fundraising director for A Better Chance for Youth Futures.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Tennille Shaw. I am the Director for Education Programs here at A Better Chance for Youth Futures.
And, uh-oh, I have too many. I'm touching too much. Okay. That is Dr. Sullivan.
All right, how's everybody doing today? My name is Dr. Sullivan, known as Dr. Sully, and I am the male mentor um, director for A.B.C. Youth Futures. And if it doesn't make sense, got to make change.
Awesome. And last but not least,
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ruthie Bright. I am the motivational mailing coordinator for A.B.C. Youth.
awesome. So you have met the whole team that is in charge of different programs. Somebody has their volume up and is getting the feedback. Um, you have met the whole team. And as I discussed before, I'm going to give you a brief history of ABC Youth. ABC Youth actually was founded in 2004. ABC Youth was founded in 2004 while I was a teacher in Detroit, Michigan. And what happened, honestly, and just being really vulnerable with everyone today, what happened is the guidance counselors wasn't servicing our youth in ways to prepare them to attend HBCUs. So from that small thing that happened, we started our organization then, which was named after my sister. It was called Takesha A. Davis Positive Influences for Our Youth. We outgrew that name being because that was something that we no longer wanted to be called. And after being told no from many spaces, we start calling ourselves A Better Chance LLC. So from A Better Chance LLC, we decided that there's more benefits and more people will appreciate you if you are a nonprofit. So from then we grew to A Better Chance for Youth Futures Incorporated. Right now it stands that since 2004, we've been helping kids prepare for college. Also, we eliminated the word student and called them scholars. And we've helped people get into school. We prepare programs for them to get into school. And a lot of those things are done behind the scenes. And now, which brings us to 2020, where I had a situation. I was placed, and I'm sorry if you get offended, and if you're watching, I apologize in advance. But I had a push from a principal in the San Antonio area who felt like my services were not needed at that school anymore, and also did not agree with the vision and things that I wanted for students, as far as letting them be aware of HBCUs. So from that, that gave me the push, get myself together, dust off, whatever. So today, I thank her for what she did, because if she didn't, I wouldn't have a good team. I wouldn't have a positive role, and my scholars would not get the love and donations and resources that they get. So with that being said, that push in June allowed me to file for my 501(c)(3). So yes, A Better Chance for Youth is a charitable organization. We receive donations from Givelify. We also have Cash App. We also have Benevity. And also, if you just feel in your heart to donate, by all means, we have events that you can help sponsor with also. But you'll learn that from my team. So, and as you notice right now, Anthony Brown is, I know he'll probably be mad at me for announcing this. Anthony Brown is my mentor. He also was a person that gave me a push, like, what are you upset about? Either you're going to work or sit down. So today is strictly about A Better Chance for Youth. I know I bring other people on here. We do have some amazing things happening, and we have some amazing staff. And as you notice, we're not an all-girl band anymore. We have Dr. Sullivan, who has like sat down and came aboard and is like, hey, where do I get in? So those amazing flyers that you see, I cannot act like I made them, even though I tried it, but Dr. Sullivan made those amazing flyers for this skating party. So let's get started so you can learn more about us and what we have to offer. We will start with Miss Tennille Shaw. Tennille, we can't hear you. Tennille, you have to unmute yourself.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm using the same screen. I want to make sure that the visuals were on point. Good evening again, you guys. My name is Tennille Shaw, and my role here is the Director of Education Programs. I am so excited about this role, and we have so many ideas flowing through that we want to bring to our youth at this time. One thing that has really hit home with all of us in education, we are so passionate about what we do, but while the expectations and the requirements have stayed the same, the way we educate our students has drastically shifted. And we want to find new ways to meet those needs for our scholars. Okay. The three things that I want to talk to you about this evening in my allotted time, I want to talk to you about our tutorial program. I want to talk to you about the workshops, and then I want to talk to you about the contests that are coming up. All right, so I'm excited. The tutorials will launch on January 25th. What we have is it is open to students that are K-12, keeping in mind that our new sophomores and freshmen that are in college, our new college sophomores and freshmen, we are here for you. So don't feel like just because it says K-12, we won't help you. If you reach out to us and sign up and tell us, hey, this is what I'm needing, we will find a way to help bridge that gap for you, because we know that your college experience has been very unique. You're new, just becoming a new freshman or a new sophomore this year. Okay, we are available in multiple subject areas, including Spanish. We want to make sure that everyone can hear me correctly, right? Can you hear me? Okay, cool. So the thing about it is I'm seeing the presentation and not seeing the screen right now. So the thing about it is that we want to really drive home the fact that our tutorials are individualized and tailored. And I know a lot of people say that because they think that when you put one person in front of one teacher, that's individualized and that's tailored, but that's not what we mean. What we mean is we look at this particular individual. What do you need? What are your interests? What are your gaps? Typically, students don't have gaps across the entire grade level. Typically, they have gaps in specific places, and we use tools to diagnose that and then come together and help fill in those particular gaps for that student. So it is not a program that we developed that we're trying to fit your child into. We are building the program around your child. And with that information, we build a strategic plan with the student, with the family, with the educator to make sure that we are able to see the growth and measure the growth as the child participates in the program. What you get from us is certified educators with proven results. These are people that have been around the block. They know what they're talking about. They know what works with kids. They've worked with different ages of kids. We have very flexible options. You can have ongoing tutoring if your student has a weakness in just a particular subject area like ELA or math, or if there's a specific thing, hey, I want to beef up my skills to get ready for this ACT test that's coming up. We have flexible options for you. The biggest push is that we know that parents and families have experienced a whole lot this last 11 months in the middle of the pandemic. Our goal is to give you this wonderful resource at an affordable price. Typically, private tutoring runs anywhere from $45 to $100 per hour for a certified teacher. We are going to get you in, with the help of our wonderful sponsors, we're going to get you in that same high quality tutoring, but it's not even going to cost you $45. And that's what we want to bring to you. Okay. So that's a huge part of what we do here. And once again, that starts January 25th. You can go online to the link, sign up, say, hello, this is what I'm in 9th grade. This is what I'm struggling with. Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I'm in 11th grade. I'm a junior. I'm getting ready to graduate. Give me, this is what I need help with. And we will tailor our program to fit you. Next, the workshops. Lots of things are happening this coming in 2 short weeks. Beginning January 23rd, we are offering a specific writing workshop. We are using the feedback from our stakeholders to meet the current needs of our students. Typically, our workshops are going to be Saturday mornings from 10:30 to 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. because we know that we're working with teenagers and not a lot happens before 10:30 a.m. It is an interactive workshop. We are not going to just lecture at you. We're not going to just talk to you. You could watch a YouTube video for that. They are going to give information, share information, and get right on the spot feedback from our educators. Our first workshop starts the 23rd, is a 2-part writing workshop about focusing on the applications and scholarships, because this is application season. This is when it starts for our juniors and seniors. Even our students as young as 8th grade are welcome to attend, because there are some opportunities that are only available to students when they're in 14 in 8th grade. Our focus for this workshop is persuasive writing and really making those personal statements that you're submitting to universities, make them be a true reflection of you and really stand out and grab their attention. The other thing, a lot of students have commented that with us being online and being so distant, that they feel very disconnected from students. They feel very disconnected from school, and we want to offer these contests as a way to showcase their talents and as a way to bring our communities together. We offer challenge, engagement, growth, and prizes. We want to make sure that we are giving them an opportunity to shine and showcase what our students are able to do to the world. And that also gives them, winning these contests gives them something else to add to their CV or their resume. Okay. Just a quick thought, it is through curiosity and looking at opportunities in new ways that we have always mapped our path. I think that this is very true for Mr. Dell. He has talked about this, but this is very true for us as a people, as a whole. We look for those opportunities and we map out our path to success. I thank you, and you guys, my email is on the website. You are welcome to email me any specific questions or any specific current concerns you have, and we will answer your questions or connect you to the people that can give you the best answers.
Ms. Mo, you got to unmute. You're muted.
Now practice what I preach. I'm sitting here on mute because I didn't want my conversation to be heard through social media. Can you hear me okay now? I hope so. We are going to have our fundraising coordinator director of fundraising, talk to you about all of her wonderful things that she has planned. I introduce you again to Dr. Cross.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well on this awesome Sunday. So I am Dr. Cross. I am the fundraising coordinator or director of fundraising for A Better Chance for Youth Futures. I'm so excited about this opportunity. So we kicked off our fundraiser for the year. Well, we started last year with a popcorn fundraiser that did very well. And thank you to everyone that supported and bought popcorn for us. And we have a skating fundraiser that is going on now with, it'll be held on MLK Day, which is next Monday. The tickets are right now $15 in advance at Eventbrite. You can purchase your tickets, or they will be $20 at the door. So come on now, bring your family. The skating party will be at 11 a.m. It is fun.
And also, if you just feeling
Oh, I'm sorry. Fun for the whole family.
the skating party will.
Sorry. And so there'll be no March this year. So come on out and skate with us. Our fundraising program is unique because we provide resources and education assistance to our scholars. Our scholars need so much as a freshman going to school and throughout their college experience. What makes our program unique with dealing with HBCUs is that it provides a lot of support and resources for the students that helps them be successful in their programming and in school and college, because our scholars are new to the HBCU world. They're new to the college world and the college life. And so fundraising helps us be able to provide those resources that the students may need, whether it be computers or toilet paper, tissue, all types of things that the students may need. And we should be trusted for our services because resources and help and support is greatly needed. Oftentimes students feel homesick when they go to school and start college. They haven't made friends yet. They may not know, a lot of people there. They may feel alone. And so at least with our program and our organization, they can reach out and say, hey, Miss Mo, hey, Miss Bright, I need you to send me a care package. Or, I need to talk to somebody to help me or give me that extra push. And I know this firsthand because I wasn't afforded the opportunity to go to a HBCU because I didn't have all of the information and the background on how important HBCUs are for our students, our scholars. But now my son has, with the help of this organization, my son has been awarded the opportunity to attend an HBCU. He's at Russ, and he needs a lot of support and needed a lot of support. And he was able to reach out to the different people in the organization for that support. In terms of fundraising, I hope to grow our program and our fundraising greatly. I foresee us having a fundraising gala in the future. Eventually, I want to grow us to that level, to that point. I'm excited about that. In February, we'll be looking to have another fundraiser for thinking about doing some pizza kits online, trying to think about things that we can do that are safe in this COVID world and in terms of COVID right now. And in the spring, we're looking into some strawberry fundraising. So definitely excited about all of the fundraising. Looking forward to all of your support. We thank you so much for joining in and for helping. And we look forward to our program and our organization growing.
Thank you, Dr. Cross. Uh-oh, I'm touching the wrong stuff. Thank you, Dr. Cross. I will turn it over to Dr. Sullivan at the time. I think we're ready for him.
Yes. Okay. So again, I'm Dr. Sully and or Dr. Roy Sullivan, Howard University alum, Bachelor's of Special Ed, Master's in Marriage and Family Counseling, and a dual doctoral in both divinity and theology. And just about conferred or working to confer industrial psychology. Male mentorship. Male mentorship. So first of all, there's a poem that I'm going to try to just run through real quickly by Rudyard Kipling, and it says, "If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can watch." I used to know this by heart.
It's okay. Take your time.
Move. PowerPoint didn't PowerPoint the right way. All right, here we go. If you can make allowances for their doubting too, you can wait and not be tired of waiting or being lied about. Don't deal in lies. Being hated, don't give way to hated, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and make dreams your virtue, and not your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat them impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or wash the things you gave your life to broken and stoop down and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginning and never ever say a thing about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve you long after they're gone and hold on when there's nothing to hold on to you except for the will which says to them, hold on. If you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything in it, and what's more, you'll be a man, my son. And that's actually the basis for the mentoring program. We're calling it the mandate. And the poem "If" is by Rudyard Kipling. He's a British poet. He also, just for people who don't know who he is also the author of The Jungle Book, which is going all around the world. And so the whole breakdown of the analysis, I won't go all the way into it, but in the second stanza, it talks about dreaming and not letting dreams take control of you if they don't come out the way that you think they're going to come, but yet continue pushing both sides, even when triumph and disaster, and handle it when other people are talking about you, and continue pressing. And when I think about young men today, especially men of color, we have continuously tried to redefine who we are. You know, first we are born and we're trying to figure out, we're doing what mama wants us to do, what daddy wants us to do. Puberty come, and then we're starting to try to figure out how to deal with those emotions for our partnerships and things like that, and our love lives and things like that. And then we are looking at career goals, and then we go to college or workplace or wherever we are, and then we're trying to figure out what is it that they want us to do to be most successful. But you will never be most successful until you can be exactly who you are. And that's not redefining, but refining. And it takes mentorship to do that. The best type of mentorship is life to life. I can, we will have great curriculum, and we would go through a lot of different books and do some book clubs and things like that. And a lot of male bonding, a lot of conversation around what's really going on. You know, a lot of time as men, especially men of color, we don't put ourselves in a therapeutic vulnerability so that we can actually build with each other to be greater than what we already are. A lot of times we just want everyone to see that we are, we're macho. I think I heard somebody today on one of my platforms saying, brothers, 2021, can you no longer let me walk up to you on the street or in the store and be like, what's up, bro? And you not say anything to me? I'll look at me like I'm the filth on the bottom of your shoe. I'm struggling the same struggling you're struggling in. I'm feeling some of the same things you're feeling. And I've done this research. I've talked to men that are 60 and 80 years old, and the exact same things that I was dealing with, maybe from a different angle at 21, they were dealing with. The exact same things I was dealing with at 30, they were dealing with. They feel the same exact thing when money doesn't do whatever money's supposed to do and you're trying to pay your bill. When you're dealing with what it is to just be a Black man in America. I don't know how other people really felt, but I was stumped for about an hour in tears, uncontrollably, when I was watching what happened to the White House, not because of what happened to the White House, but because I understood at that moment what I've always known, but not seeing it in my eye like that, of if it would have been me, if it would have been my brother, if it would have been me and a student from Howard going down just to try to walk on Capitol Hill, work on Capitol Hill. And then the craziest thing about that is I've worked some of the political angles in life. And so I've been on Capitol Hill lobbying for different things for to change policy and things like that, and legislation. So, to know how hard it was then in a three-piece suit and a briefcase, what would it be if I came through militantly just trying to stand and do a protest, a peaceful protest? And of course, we saw that just a few months ago. A couple of facts that are that we might want to know. Black youth that are enrolled in school who are not enrolled in school have an unemployment rate of 29%. According to the U.S. Census, the majority of babies born in Black people of color miss entry into college. We're very good at getting the acceptance letter, but then what's next? African Americans are the second largest minority group in the United States. And so we should begin to push the fact that we really are not that small. We may be a minority at some point, but we also have so much to offer. But if we do not work together, it doesn't matter anybody else trying to work for us. Black and Latino teens, especially those who reside in America and persistently portrayed in the media and everywhere else negatively, and society expectations come on us, and we begin to mimic those things, trying to fight how not to be what we know we're not. But usually in that fight, when you're trying so hard not to be everything, you end up fighting and initially being right in that place. Case in point, sitting at a stoplight, police car pulls up behind you. You already have the pressure running up your neck simply because there's a car behind me with lights on. I know what happens all the time. Now I know all cops are not corrupt, but when you see Black men getting killed, when I was 21, it was such a relief because that was my only goal at that time in the 90s. My only goal was to make it to 21, because at that time, what kept being echoed on the media, what kept being echoed through people like Cornel West and people like Dick Gregory were, if you're a Black man, you'd be happy to make it to 21. Most Black men are dead before 21. So my goal, I didn't even have a goal at the time to graduate from college or to have a career. I was just like, I just want to live to make 21. And it was mentorship that helped get me over those humps, get me over those bumps, to begin to start really developing into the man that I have become, and so much further to still go. Oftentimes, young men of color were misunderstood. I'm a lot smaller than I used to be. Playing football, I was about 400 pounds. Me on a happy day, walking up on somebody with dreads all the way down my back can be pretty intimidating. Let alone I start beginning to communicate with my hands, and that's just who I am. That's culture for me. A lot of times we're loud. That's just who we are. And if we don't begin to talk to each other on how to not be different, but how to hone our gifts, how to walk into certain doors and not create something through, but be authentically who we are, but yet understand that I have to educate you on the greatness that you're looking at, because you have no idea what this is that you are looking at, because it speaks educated. It demands a certain level of authority from a room. And so don't tell me that I'm conceited. Don't tell me that I'm stuck up. Don't tell me that I am in a place where I feel like the world owes me something, even though it does. Let's just be real about that. It does. But because I have fought to be wherever I am, I'm wearing the same navy blue suit that you are, in the same corporate America office you are, went through the same collegiate levels and steps that you are, took the same SAT, ACT that you did, got the same academic honors as you are. So now that we're sitting in this place, yes, we're competing for our future, but don't mistake in my race for your race, because we may have ran it differently, but we both ran it. So give me those props. And so that has to first start happening within our own culture, within our own men on men working together. And so want to get us away from this whole prisoner pipeline. Pipeline of prison, because right now we are so taught that every mistake we make as soon as going to break down everything. And so once we get to a place where we start making mistakes, what happens when anybody makes mistakes is we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to sit down. We have to talk. You can't have a board meeting with the board in your mind, because if you have a board meeting only with the board in your mind, then they're going to agree with you. Who best to agree with you than you? Now, I understand that you might sit there and try to be your best worst critic. I'm here to tell you from a psychological standpoint, you really are not your best worst critic. Not when it's about things that's supposed to make you greater. You're just scared. You have fear. You need someone to push you through, but your mind will tell you, well, no, you're not doing that the right way, or you need to be better than someone else. No, a lot of times, if you get in a room with someone else and think outside of yourself, then you can be in the box to volleyball that thing with each other and have a dialogue and communicate and begin to finally build who you are, because we cannot do it on our own. And so cultivating that seed, because everything in an oak tree, everything in an apple tree, everything in an orange tree was exactly everything it was going to be the moment it was dropped into the ground as a seed. It is very important that we understand that change, because if you can talk to a seed, how emotional do you think that would if that seed was to tell you, well, the first thing they did was they took me and they dropped me into a hole. Then in that hole, they begin to throw dirt on top of me. And if you're country like myself, you understand that the best crop at the fair is going to grow only if it has some real good fertilizer, some real good, well, I don't know if we can say that on the live, but you need to figure out what that is. And some of us have gone through some fertilizing in our life. And so when finally we're pressing through and we're finally getting to the place where we're pushing out of the ground, then we're just budding. We're just budding. We have no idea what we are. An apple tree doesn't look like an apple tree the first week that it comes out the ground. It just looks like another twig, like everything else, easily broken, has to be cared for. Then as it starts to grow, it has to be put in the right groups of people to take care of it and to prune it, not to break it. And a lot of times, because people don't know how to handle us, we don't know how to handle us. We find ourselves in a lot of abusive situations. And I'm not just talking about abusive situations as far as love, abusive situations, because sometimes a teacher doesn't know how to use me properly. I may be quiet, but just because I'm quiet does not mean that my mind is not taking in everything that I'm receiving. Or I might be, let's see, ADHD. I just need to move around a little bit. Don't take my disability as a disadvantage, because my ADHD is one of the things going to take me so much further when I understand how to use it. But all that takes mentorship and proper mentorship. One thing that our mentorship would do that a lot of mentor programs fail at is keep some form of consistency. We have to be accountable. Not just the mentors have to be accountable, but the mentee has to be accountable. Under Obama's presidency, he created something called My Brother's Keeper. We have to realize that we are indeed my brother's keeper. And as we continue to go, I have a lot of information about this. I won't bore you. Consistency independently has to be the routine. We're going to have a duration of the program so that we have a graduation point, because at some point, people that are being mentors, we want them to give back and begin to be mentors to others. People who've been mentees, we want them to mentor others. We're going to have structured activities, reliability, and accountability. There has to be a mutual trust, not just role modeling, but there has to be some role playing. We have to push people to, let's get into a book. Let's have some book clubs. There are some things that typically men don't do, but we need to do them. The things that have made me great is not my education only. I had to continue reading, continue educating myself, continue learning. Sometimes I don't even know what's in my mouth until I start talking. I didn't even know that I knew something, but I remembered that I looked at the newspaper on this particular day. So when someone was talking about a certain thing, I was like, you know what? I knew about that. And not just that I knew about it, but I understood what it was, because I just didn't go with the headline. You know, when they start talking about um, when they start talking about removing people from the Oval Office, a couple of sometimes last year, I believe, a lot of people saying, "Oh, they're about to move him out. They're about to do this," and I was like, "No, that's not how that process goes. That process is a long process." Even just recently, the conversation, everybody thought that in a couple of days we're just going to magically just move this guy who has been voted in, who's been sitting here all this time, out of office. No, that's a whole process. And even now, the conversation is it might not even happen at all. The process, if the process is going to happen, is going to have to be done after Biden and Harris is actually put in office. But you won't know those things if you don't take some time to actually dig in, educate yourself alone or with someone else, to know that don't just listen to what you're hearing, because there's a lot more to the puzzle. There's a lot more to the situation. Also, sensitivity. We have to cultivate sensitivity around Black and brown skin men and boys, because that transition from boy to manhood, and I want to say that again, the transition from boy to manhood is really hectic, because most boys who have become men, they are misleading themselves, because they think they've walked into manhood. They've not walked into manhood. They're just a man. You know, they're just swinging and dinging, sticking and moving, trying to smell good, trying to look better. No, dude, is not smart. It's not beautiful that you're riding around on 26-inch rims and you can't budget your checkbook to make sure that your rent is paid on time. And somebody might think, well, that's just common sense. Guess what, you all? I want to let you know that's not common sense, especially if you're a male. For many females, you all at least had Barbie. Y'all at least had a house. Y'all at least had Barbie to go into a little playhouse with a man, Ken, to come to the house and show this is how life should look at. We didn't have that. We wasn't thinking anything about house at all. We was imagining stuff then, guessing stuff then. And if you look at the sale rate of PlayStations and Xboxes and all the different game systems, many men all the way up to 50 are still sitting in front just playing games, not even in their own homes, but in the homes of somebody else, their mama, some woman, some shelter. And so there's a lot of things that we have to go back and we have to repair in the process of what environmentally has moved us to where we are now. Because this is just one point in life. But to get to manhood, that's when you have some responsibility and some accountability, and you actually have a hood. You have a village or some other people to be responsible to and accountable to, that can say something to you, like Mr. Johnny, who used to sit down at the end of the block, or Mr. Sullivan, who had no relations to me. You sit at the corner, and if my pants was hanging too low, he said, "Hey, boy, put them pants up on your behind." And I didn't, even though I didn't want to do it, because I respected him, it resonated in me. And eventually I started pulling my pants up. And those things are important. So that's just a little bit about male mentoring and what we're going to do. It's called the mandate. And so we're going to really just go ahead and push, because guess what? It's a mandate. And I take this thing very seriously. So thanks again.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan. Much needed word for our male viewers, as well as some of the parents. And I'm looking at different comment feeds, because like I said, we do share live to about a couple different Facebook pages, YouTube, and a platform called Twitch. So I don't know why all the conversations aren't merging, but you did get a lot of kudos and your word was much needed. I'm going to move it on to Mrs. Bright. She has a very unique responsibility, but I will let her share more in detail what that is. I think you on mute.
Good evening. My name is Mrs. Bright, and I am the motivational mailing coordinator. I will be sending out little mailings, motivational mailings, some little gifts to our scholars. One of the motivational things I want the scholars to know, as well as their parents, is there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. So this is the type of encouragement I will be sending out to our young scholars that will motivate them, because they are away from home. So you're outside of your comfort zone and you're trying to make friends with other people from different arenas, as well as try to cope with being away from home. So I will be sending out motivational information so that they can continue their fight for school, for a good quality education at our HBCUs. HBCU for because those things that you make, those connections that you make, take you all the way up through the positive year as well as in your last year. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Mrs. Bright.
Thank you for this platform.
Oh, I had to make sure I wasn't on mute. Thank you, Mrs. Bright. Thank you, Ms. Shaw, Dr. Cross, Dr. Sully, for sharing yourselves with all of us today, and telling the different programs that you are heading with a Better Chance for Youth. Because usually on Sundays, I usually have different distinguished guests. Not saying that you all are distinguished as well, but what I'm saying is I have other guests, but not really home. Like they's like, A Better Chance for You, she does this by herself. No, I don't do it by myself. I probably wouldn't be able to do it by myself without my lovely people here that like go full speed at everything they do. If you have questions, please put it in the chat, drop a link. I do know I have some friends that are watching. Like I said, Mr. Brown, he's watching. I also have some other parents that are watching. Now, if you have a student that is in college, please leave us a link, something in the link, so they can get on the list for the motivational mailings. If you are interested in the fundraiser, please make sure you reach out to Dr. Cross. Everybody has an email. Their email is their first name dot last name at A Better Chance for Youth Futures Incorporated. Only mine is different. Mine is M. Robinson at A Better Chance for Youth Futures Incorporated, whereas they have their full name and email. We do have some programs that I did put in the link if you are looking to get your skating party tickets early. I believe it's $15 at Eventbrite and $20 at the door. Now, if you don't live in San Antonio, but you would like to sponsor someone skating, I do know that Dr. Cross would love for you to do that as well. As we are, oh goodness, that hour went pretty quick today. As we are winding down our last couple of minutes that we have left, do any of the panelists have a final thought that they would like to give the parents who may be sitting on the fence? Like, I don't know if I should trust them. I don't know if this is something that they're capable of. I do know that Dr. Cross is a living.
I unmuted myself because I would love to speak some more. I know I was trying to speak about, the fundraising, so I wasn't, trying to really highlight my experience. But since you asked, I will say I came to the program in September.
Yes.
And my son was just up for grabs, basically. He didn't know what he wanted to do, which way he wanted to go. We were having a conversation, just my son and my nephew, and we were sitting at the table at dinner, and my son said, we were asking, what are 3 things? You had 3 wishes. What would you wish for? And my son said, well, one thing I would wish for is to find my purpose. And so that just like lit up every epiphany in my head. I had all these light bulbs going off. Like, I need to help my child find his purpose, because when I was his age, I knew it. I knew mine. I didn't have the the ability to go to a HBCU. Well, I did have the ability, but I didn't go, basically. So because I didn't know really like how important a HBCU was or would have been to my life. I really didn't. My mother was saying like, you should go to a HBCU, you shouldn't stay here. And I was like, whatever. I was, a teenager. So I didn't know. So that just lit something in me. And then I had the opportunity to fellowship with Miss Robinson. And, I told her about what was going on, what my son had said. And she was like, well, what about sending him to school? You think he would want to go? I said, girl, if I went home and told him you going to school right now today, he gonna say, okay, all right. And, Ms. Mo said, well, what were his grades? They were really good. He had a 3.5 GPA. She's like, oh, yeah, we going to get him going. He's going to school and he'll be able to get a lot of scholarships, a lot of money. Ms. Robinson has so many connections, she networks with so many people. And so she was able to get him connected, get him, into Rust, all within a couple months. Mind you, we met and talked about this in September. This is January, and he's there with nearly a full scholarship. He has met so many people that has been like, you know what, come on, you my second son. I'm going to help you. What you need, let's go. And we have family there. Rust is in Holly Springs, Mississippi, but we have family in Memphis. And my cousin FaceTimed me today because she has my son there with her at her and my aunt's house, and they're, barbecuing, and he, cleaning off the chicken and everything, helping them get ready to put things on the grill. So I'm just so excited and so appreciative of, this opportunity that, if I hadn't have met Miss Robinson and, been told about her program and the services that, she provided in this organization, I don't know what my son would be doing, right now. Probably nothing, still twiddling his thumb, but at least, he probably doesn't know his purpose, at this point, but at least he's on the road, at least he has, successful people behind him to back him, that will give him that support and that leadership and that mentorship that Dr. Sully talked about, in our community is very, very important. And so many people have reached out to me when I put the status up on Facebook that he's going to a HBCU. So many people reached out and was like, you know what, here, we're going to help you. What's his number? What's his name? What's his room number? Where is he? Do you know this person? Do you know that person? Because I know that I already know this person. I already know that person. So I'm going to put him in contact with the baseball coach. I'm going to put him in contact with the basketball coach. And, he was like, oh, well, I'll play basketball. I'll play baseball. Yeah. And I was like, he hasn't played baseball since he was 6, but basketball he loves. That's his everything, And so he had Miss Mo calling him, checking on him almost every day, telling him, did you go to the scrimmage? Did you go to the basketball court? Did you go to the gym? Did you go work out? So, this program is very, very, very helpful and very important to, our scholars and our youth. So, bring them on, send them our way. They already have 5 people right here on this screen that's going to help them, support them in any way that we can, get them what they need and help them as much as possible. So I'm a living witness. I am.
Yes. So I wanted to just piggyback off of what Dr. Cross was saying. Like Dr. Cross, I met Miss Robinson through her teaching my son. He was not yet in high school. He was a middle school student that was just kind of bopping all over the place. Smart kid, but just kind of everywhere, like middle school people are. And she was just guiding and giving him not just academic knowledge, but guiding him and giving him that practical knowledge. This is how you survive in this world and I think at the time he was one of maybe 3 or 4 minorities in his, not just grade level, just at the school. It was just it was such a small little group of them. And she just kind of showed them how to stand up and not, be someone that is respected. What I want to share with our sponsors and our viewers and everyone that's listening right now is, I don't know if you can tell, but everyone on this panel, we are so passionate about helping these babies. Like when we say we're here, we take them in. These are our children. Like we didn't birth them totally, but we want to see them succeed. We want to see them, and everyone here is committed to pushing that child and connecting them with their resources. And you have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience here on this panel, here in this board, here in this group. You have so much knowledge and variety of talents here. But if for some reason we can't meet the need within this group, we will connect you to the people that can. And we promise you that.
That's true.
Okay. I just want to say this for our HBCUs, and listen well. If a Morehouse man, while a Howard alumni is the vice president, and both were aided by a Spelman woman. It is never, never, never want to hear more talk about an HBCU, because HBCUs rock. They were the first institutions that we had before we could go to a PWI. Have a good night.
That is definitely true. They hear me preach that. Most people that know me know I wear a sweatshirt or some kind of shirt every time you see me, and that I can is because at HBCU saved me from myself. Let me say that again. They saved me from myself. So that is, I love this group. Like Tanil, Ms. Shaw said, they pour into everything. We do not, anybody know how nonprofits work? We don't get funded by certain things, but we get funded by seeing the smiles and hearing and seeing our kids transition through college and graduate. And so if no one has any other things to say, Dr. Sully, did you want to give a parting word before we log off?
Well, my word is very, very personal. So, my Ruthie inspired me. So, if any are listening, you have to know it. And if you don't know it now, you definitely know it by January 20th, when you hear folks saying,
That's right. That's right.
the call of a bison
You know.
from HU. That's right.
You
That's
know.
right.
Yeah. So with that being said, please reach out to us. You got to meet the people behind the scenes that really do more work than I do with planning. We're planning and doing everything. So please, by all means, I do know several students that were, not several students, several parents that were watching that have college students. Reach out to us. I've been there. Well, not really, because my parents, they sent me letters, and my church family sent letters too. But I had classmates who didn't get that privilege. And to a college student, especially dealing with the pandemic, you need that encouragement daily. So that's why I make it my point to at least reach out to one or two students they're out there, because being on the campus and social distancing, I know I probably wouldn't survive. That's a whole different piece right there, because I like to be around some people. I've grown a little. I like to be around some people sometimes. But I don't have any other further words. But I do appreciate, again, I know y'all keep hearing me saying that. I believe in giving people flowers while they are alive. I appreciate every last one of you all giving me your Sunday to talk about your program. I can't skate that well, but I'll be there. I don't think I can stride like I used to, but I will be there. I'll watch roll bounce. I think I can do it. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next. Actually, we're going to be on Wednesday and Thursday this week. We have Fayetteville State University and Florida Memorial. That is also something that we're doing. Is if you can't get to the counselors, we're bringing them to you. So by all means, we're trying to get our kids to school. So have a happy Sunday. See you next week.
See you. Bye-bye.